Welcome back to week 12 of League. We are doing a virtual newsletter this week. I did try to do it last week and it didn't work. So right back at it and let's go. Okay, week 12 in the books. Absolute bloodbath for some teams. We had 5 teams that went 2-0. 6 teams went 0-2. Only one Swagger managed to sneak in there at 1-1 record. So he won the head-to-head, but lost the league average. League average was set at 124.9. There we have it. There we got some winners. There we got some losers. We got the winners, Hulkamaniacs, with the high score of the week. Bradley's boys, Nasty Nate Dogg, Fingerbanger, and the Season of Dreams, all going 2-0 and a 1-0 against that average. Losers going down against league averages. Swagger, Big 33, Lincoln Hawk, Heathbar, BFI, Straight Class, and Triple J. All right, so we're going to dig into the carnage. All right, Lee, wanted to make an announcement that we have our first sponsor for our virtual updates. Our sponsor is the Golf Hacker Collective, where bogeys are the new pars. All right, so we're going to do what I like to call the Sunday autopsy, and we're going to look at each of the 6 matchups that we had this week, what went wrong, what went right, who the studs were, who the duds were, and then hit that efficiency rating. So we have matchup number 1, Lincoln Hawk versus the Season of Dreams. Final score, 141.25 Season of Dreams. Lincoln Hawk coming in at 110.45. Not enough, Lincoln Hawk. Came in here with not the greatest record, definitely needing some wins to come in there and try to fight for them playoffs. But going 0-2, that might have sunk that ship. Season of Dreams entering in the playoff hunt, so increasing their record by 2 games, going 2-0. So we'll see where the playoff standings are here in a little bit. So head-to-head, Season of Dreams beat the league average. Lincoln Hawk did not. All right, so let's go into the studs of the matchup and the duds of the matchup. Season of Dreams were carried by their backfield committee. Travis Etienne, Kareem Hunt, both up 20 points. Jacoby Brissett, not bad for a fill-in, almost scoring 24. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown coming through with 29.9. The studs for Lincoln Hawk. DJ Moore, big game, 23.4. Dylan Sampson for Cleveland, around 17.6. And then that Green Bay defense holding strong at 24. Our duds, we're going to start with the loser. The duds for Lincoln Hawk, Stephon Diggs, 4 points. Ricky Pearsall, 2.8. And Tajah Spears, 6.5. Some real stinkers. Those 3 guys getting you about 11 points. And then we move to the Season of Dreams with Jonathan Taylor dudding it up at 8.6 and Amika Abuka at 6.2. Usually those guys have been pretty strong. So just some off games by those fellas here in week 12. The efficiency rating, wow, Lincoln Hawk pulling a 100%. And what that means is he started every position correctly. No one on their bench could have came in, which is kind of sad to say because one dude scored 2.8, another dude scored 4. So 100% efficiency, great. You'd like to get that win. Season Dreams coming in at 91%. Not quite 100. They could have scored a potential 155, but only got to that 141. So left some points on the bench there, but still came away with that victory and went 2-0 on the week versus Lincoln Hawk going 0-2. All right, that's going to bring us to our next matchup. We got the Hulkamaniacs against Straight Class. We see Hulkamaniacs coming out on top, 169.45 to Straight Class's 100.65. Hulkamaniacs came in week 12 fighting for that playoff spot. In the last 2 weeks, they've been blowing things up. Believe they've got the high score in back-to-back weeks. So Hulkamaniacs bringing the thunder, brother. Straight Class is not bringing the thunder. They stink. So head-to-head margin was 68.8. What a massacre. League average is 124.9. Didn't matter to the Hulkamaniacs. Well over that margin where Straight Class fell short. This was the men against the boys. Straight Class never had a chance. Let's move into our next section, the studs versus the duds. Let's start with these winners. Jahmyr Gibbs, 55.4 points for the Hulkamaniacs. He's running wild, brother. Big game. Big game. Almost, I believe, to make it into that top 25 all time, he is about a point short. 56, I believe, is top 25 points all time by a single player in a single week. And Jahmyr Gibbs almost did it. Then we got George Pickens down there in the Cowboys, 29.6. James Cook, 21.9 in a losing effort. And then the Cleveland defense getting that dub, 22 points. Let's go. Studs, 4 straight class. Rashee Rice, 24.1 points. Quinshon Judkins, 16.7. Scoring on some Wildcats, getting some touchdowns. And George Kittle following up with 13.8 points for the straight class fantasy football squad. 13.8. I mean, that might be other teams' duds, to be straight up honest with you. We probably need to get 15 to be classified as stud. Let's look at the duds, shall we? Not surprisingly, straight class has 3 duds here. 1 quarterback, 1 running back, and 1 receiver. Jordan Love, 8.75. Kyron Williams, 6.2. And Alec Pierce, 3.6. Alec Pierce is kind of like marginal start, so I don't know how much of a dud play that is. He probably got 1 catch for 26 yards or something like that. And then the Hulkamaniacs, they are knowing how to start a lineup, only has 1 dud with 4 points. And looking at to that piece, we got the Hulkamaniacs coming in at a 100% efficiency versus straight class at 95.4. Now, straight class so far this year, I believe, for week to week, might have the best efficiency rating, which is saying something because the record is maybe tied for last. I mean, you're working with what you got, right? I mean, come on. So Hulkamaniacs takes that big double way into that straight class. All right, we're going to move into matchup 3, which has Swagger getting the W, 119.05 against BFI at 102.3. Swagger entering week 12, 8-14, trying to claw up those playoff standings and went 1-1. So he got the win against the BFI, but did not beat the league average. Still was able to go 1-1, so that's good. BFI, who's been fighting in that last playoff spot with Triple J, just ahead of the Big 33 last week, went 0-2. Oh, that's rough. Yeah, Swagger win by about 16 points, just over 16 points. All right, let's go into the studs versus the duds. We're going to start with the winner, Swagger, Ashton Genty. Not sure I like this move starting against the Browns, but it worked out for Swagger because he got 24.8 points. Michael Wilson thrown in there, 21.8. Atlanta defense coming out strong. I believe they played New Orleans, who suck. So good start, getting that 22 points. And then we have Puka Nacua, 16.7, rounding out the studs for Team Swagger. BFI, again, a marginal stud here with Michael Pittman at 13.7 and DK at 14.4. We'd like to see those studs getting at least 15 points. But when you're only scoring 102, I guess in a way, they're studs for a crappy squad. Mahomes round out the stud performance with 20.6. Tyrone Tracy filling for the Camster Scattaboo for 16 points to round out the studly scoring for Team BFI. Duds, this was big. Coming back from an injury, you would think they'd feed him the rock, get that confidence up, but he gets 2 points. Kate Otten, tight end, 6.1. Hitting that struggle bus, but, you know, it is what it is. Tight ends don't historically score too much, so to have a dud tight end, probably not the worst thing in the world. So, I mean, better than DeAndre Swift getting 1.9 for the Bears over here as a dud for Team Swagger. AJ Barner, tight end, 3.8. Again, tight ends, it is what it is. And a kicker. I mean, 4 points. It could have been 4 extra points if they scored 4 touchdowns, you know? I mean, not terrible. We move into that efficiency, 96.8 for the losing squad there, BFI. Could have had 105, but Swagger had 119. So even 100% efficiency rating, not getting it done for Team BFI. Swagger throwing in there 87.5. Now, here's a good one. If Swagger was a little better at his starting lineup, probably beats the league average. Actually, I think he scores 136 points if he goes 100%. So that's where that efficiency rating, really hard to get perfect unless your team, well, I mean, we don't have to go into that. Really hard to get it perfect. So 87.4, still gets swagger, 1-1 on the week, BFI 0-2, and he's still fighting for them playoffs. This is going to come down to some interesting stuff. All right, folks, welcome to matchup 4. We had the big 33 versus the finger banger, and finger banger comes out on top, 142.4 to 110.8. Finger banger was sitting, he might have been at the top. I think he was at the top of the league standings last week at 16-6. So this is going to push him up to 18-6 because a 142 beats league average and gets that dub on the matchup. Big 33 was sitting there in 7th last week. 110 needed about 14 more points to go 1-1. Couldn't get it done. Big 33 goes 0-2 and is now tied in 7th place with old nasty Nate Dogg, who's been slowly creeping up that standings list. Studs versus duds. Finger banger, Dak Prescott goes crazy, 34.6 points. I'm always a big fan of Dak, but he's helping the old finger banger get that W. Emmanuel Wilson, that might be the pickup of the week. Just might be the pickup of the week. I feel like he scored 2 touchdowns, 26.5 for them Packers. Trey McBride, who did not score a touchdown, I know for a fact, because I would have won some money, but he didn't. Whatever, 16.9. And then Juwan Jennings, who had some post-game scuffle issues, bringing in the top 4 studs for finger banger at 15.1 points. Big 33, Drake May, 20.9. I feel like that's probably down a little bit from what Drake May has been doing, so that kind of stung a little bit, but still getting that 15-point mark to become a stud for the Big 33 fantasy squad. We got Derrick Henry, 22.8, and Baltimore defense riding them Baltimore Ravens with 17 points scored in their matchup. We go to the duds, Big 33. 8.7 is not horrible for Aaron Jones. Nico Collins, yeah, that's a little down from I feel like what he's used to. Kyle Pitts is a wild card at 4.5. I mean, he could be a dud every week, to be honest with you. And then Noel Fingerbanger, his big dud was Alvin Kamara at 3.5 points. Quite honestly, I didn't even realize he was still in the league. Shows my football knowledge. Now we go to the efficiency ratings, and we see Big 33 did everything correct. The guys didn't perform. That's it. The guys didn't come through. He nailed his starting lineup. 100% efficiency. Fingerbanger, almost 100% efficiency. He's looking at 96.5. He only missed out on 5 points. So Fingerbanger, good start. 2-0, stays atop that. He leaderboard and standings in number 1 for that bye when it comes playoff time. We're 2 weeks away. And we got this Thanksgiving week, we got the next week, and then playoffs start. So we're going to see what happens these next 2 weeks. Big 33 still in the hunt. Can win the next 4 games and hope BFI and Triple J go 0-4, 1-3, 2-2. It's going to be close to see what happens. So he needs some help. Big 33, Nasty Nate Dogg, both are going to need some help to get into them playoffs. All right, on to matchup 5, and man, this one hurts. Brother v. brother. And the younger brother beat the crap out of the older brother by about 56 points. Whew, rough. Bradley's boys, 151.1 points versus Triple J, 94.35. Triple J has not had the lowest score all year until week 12. There we go, Triple J. Not getting it done. Bradley's boys enter at 15-7. They're going to go to 17-7, ranked number 2 in the standings, sitting pretty for that second seed and getting that bye in week 15 as the first round of our playoffs. Triple J is fighting to get that last spot. Him and BFI are tied for the 5th and 6th spot right now, with Big 33 and Nasty Nate Dogg just right on their heels. And these last 2 weeks, anything can happen. Bradley's boys going to go 2-0. Triple J, 0-2. But let's see if there's a good side of things. The studs for Bradley's boys, Jackson Smith-Njigba, 37.1 points. He was on fire. He might be the best receiver in the NFL right now. Christian McCaffrey, who was passed for Bijan Robinson as the first overall pick, is saying, "Hey, Bijan, I got you this week. I just whooped that ass by 13. That's what Christian McCaffrey just told Bijan. Embarrassing. Hunter Henry, tight end position, 24.5. Parker Washington, who I don't even know who that is. I had to look him up. He's a Jaguars receiver. My receiver, Brian Thomas Jr., who was my keeper, like, he's hurt. So that's probably why Parker Washington is going to play. But you know what? He's probably better than my guy. Sucks. Jared Goff, 23.95 points for a stud for Triple J. Bijan, we already mentioned your performance of 14.7. And Breece Hall, 13.9. I mean, if these are your studs and they're not even scoring 15, like, you deserve to lose. And your duds, I mean, at least Jameson Williams and Jordan Addison both got 0 points. I mean, that's a wash. But Travis Kelce, 8.4, not bad. Detroit defense against that New York Giants offense, man, that hurts. That hurts. Let famous Jameis scoring a touchdown on a reverse pass. Like, Detroit defense, you deserve to score 6. I think you might have even found your way on the free agency market, Detroit defense. That's what being the dud in week 12 has cost you guys. Baker Mayfield, in fairness, I believe he got hurt, but put up 5.95. When we look at these efficiency ratings, Bradley's boys earned himself on the hit list last week because his efficiency was like 67%. So at least he scored a little better and got 88%. I believe he could have had a total of 171 instead of 151. Ooh, whoop-de-doo. Triple J, 75.5, the worst efficiency this week. Just bad time to make some errors in your starting lineups. Could have had a potential if starting everyone that he could have started or should have started, he would have beat the league average by 1, salvaged a 1-1 record. But most likely, if he started everyone, the league average would have been a little bit higher. Might not have beat that league average anyways if it went up another point. So, a little give and take there to see what's going to happen. Playoffs are coming, and these two teams are right in the mix of it. So that's going to lead us into the final matchup of the week. We got Heathbar versus the Nasty Nate Dogg. And Nasty Nate Dogg, 149.05, comes out on top over the Heathbar at 109 points. Nasty Nate Dogg entered the week 8-14. There was a big stack that was all tied with the same record. Nate Dogg goes 2-0 to raise that record to 10-14, and now is sitting tied for 7th, just looking into that playoff race to see if he can crack it. Heathbar, well, I mean, there's probably not much to say about this one. Came in at 8-14, 0-2, now 8-16. I feel like mathematically eliminated. Sorry. All those 8-16 teams are eliminated. And I think even a 9-15 team might be on the edge of being eliminated, especially depending on Big 33 and Nasty Nate Dogg and what they can do here in the next 2 weeks. Studs for Nasty Nate Dogg, Matthew Stafford, 31.65 points. Wan'Dale Robinson for those Giants at 30.6 actually led all the Sunday scoring with the first touchdown of the day to get them Giants off and running against the Lions. Devontae Adams just keeps producing, 23.2. Devontae Smith at 14.9. Heathbar studs. I mean, he's got 3 over 15, but I think it's the rest of that roster is a problem for old Heathbar. Trevor Lawrence, 25.7 points. A.J. Brown, oh, look, a blast from the past. A.J. Brown, 25 points. And then the San Francisco defense coming in at 15. We have our duds. Heathbar, Josh Downs, 3 points. Rough. Woody Marks, 7.9 points. TJ Hawkinson, 5.9. That's about 16 points averaged out for 3 people. Man, 5 points each. That's a recipe for disaster. David Montgomery for the old Nasty Nate Dogg, 6.7 points. And Juwan Johnson, no clue who that is. Don't know. Want to say probably a receiver, but I really don't know. 10.6. Let's look at efficiency. Both of these guys cracking 90% efficient with their lineups. Heathbar, 90.1. Could have got him 120 points instead of the 109. So that would have still put Heathbar 0-2. Nasty Nate Dogg could have had, he had a 149.05, could have had 149.15. So yeah, 0.1 points better. Again, doesn't move the mark when it comes to total points or anything like that, but just a fun little stat to throw out there. All right, next topic is going to be a fun little slide that we're going to call our heroes versus zeros. All right, so our next section of the Week 12 virtual update is our heroes of the week. The guys that came out on top. They carried their team, whether it was the coach or a certain player or what have you. And then we have the zeros, the complete opposite, the garbage pail of Week 12 fantasy football. Okay, let's start with them. Let's start with them heroes. We got highest score of the week in back-to-back weeks. Hulkamaniacs. Yeah, brother! You are the hero of the week with 169.45 points. You dropped the highest score. Jahmyr Gibbs is the hero for the hero, scoring 55 points. Our next hero is the efficiency kings. Put that crown on the top of your head. We have 3 teams that went 100% efficient. Lincoln Hawk, Hulkamaniacs, and Big 33. Now, that didn't all equate into perfect 2-0 scores. It actually kind of went 2-0, 0-2, 0-2. But you're onto something. 100% efficiency, you're onto something. And then we have our waiver wire hero picked up by the finger banger. He's Emmanuel Wilson for Green Bay. 2 touchdowns. Emmanuel helped him go 2-0. Big waiver wire pickup here late in the season. All right, we're on to zeros, and there's 3 of them. And the fact of the matter is, one coach is in all 3 of these categories. One coach should be the zero of the week. We have the efficiency disaster, 75% efficiency by Triple J. You sucked, Triple J. Your roster was crap. You didn't show up. The wrong guys were on the bench. Jalen Hurts putting up 35 versus Jared Goff at 23. Khalil Shakur, 17 with Jameson Wilson, 0. Man, that hurts. We have another 0, the lowest score of the week. Triple J, welcome again for part 2 of the 0 of the week. Lowest score, 90. Can't even break. We had maybe 2 guys last week not break 100. Now we have 1, and it's Triple J. And then we have the bust, a 0 in the points column for this 0, Jameson Williams. I feel like he scored 20-some points last week. It wouldn't have hurt so much if a guy on the bench didn't put up almost 18 points. Jameson Williams, welcome to the 0 club. And that's all we're going to say about that. Our next section here is the leaderboard, just a collection of some historical point figures and just some random information that we're going to throw out this week and each week in a week-to-week basis. Highest point total for this season is Bradley's boys at 1644.20. Bradley's boys is in second place, but has the highest point total this season. Actually, interesting number. You have 1639 in third place, 1633 in fourth place, and 1598 in first place. So 3 scores are behind the fourth place score that's in first place. Interesting. Highest single week this season, been Season of Dreams at 176.45. Best season-long efficiency rating, straight class, holding that 93.9 average. It's just a shame. It's a shame that he's 8-16 and in last place and not going to make the playoffs and on a 5-game losing streak. But good job with that starting lineup. Most points left on the bench this week, yours truly, Triple J at 30, basically 31 points. Worst efficiency, I think we've covered this really well with 75.5 at Triple J. Single week bust, I feel like this has been said over and over. And the most consistent score throughout this league, that is not correct either, because Bradley's boys has an average of 137. So we're going to have to adjust what's coming up with most consistent score. And now we move to the stat of the week. 75.5. What could that stand? Is it the highest score this week? No. Lowest score this week? No. Biggest player score? No, that was 55. Oh, the worst efficiency of the week. Triple J. Oh yeah. Yeah. You should be fired. You should be fired. Which brings us to our waiver wire roundup for week 12. And here we have the pickup of the week, and this could even go into the last couple weeks. Someone that's going to make a big difference in the starting lineup. And we have Emmanuel Wilson, who scored 26.5 for the finger banger. Also picked up was Jacoby Brissett, probably a week ago, dropping 23.85 points. Another smart ad by the old Bradley's boys was at Parker Washington, which, didn't really know who he was until I realized that my receiver, Brian Thomas Jr., sucks. And he's taken about. We have a questionable ad to Jake Elliott, a kicker, scored 2 points. I think most of Heathbar's pickups are questionable, but there's so many of them. And then the most active, this was a wild one. Most active owner on the waiver wire during week 12. Now, this goes back into Sunday because some people are picking up guys on Sunday during the games that they're going to play in this week game. But Swagger, busiest team on the waiver wire. Okay, we got the playoff watch. We got the playoff hunt. This is where it matters. We have Fingerbanger sitting atop at number 1, 18-6, followed by Bradley's boys at 17-7. Most likely, you're looking at two teams that are getting that solid bye. Fingerbanger is on a 6-game winning streak. He's been killing it, folks. He's been killing it. All right, rounding out our top 4, we got Season of Dreams at 15-9 and the Hulkamaniacs at 15-9. Hulkamaniacs 3 in a row. Been climbing. Then we got our teams kind of on the bubble, but still sitting in that playoff spot at 12-12 is Triple J and BFI. Anything can happen these last 2 weeks, though. And then we have two teams on the bubble. Nasty Nate Dogg at 10-14, Big 33 at 10-14, BFI Triple J, like we just said, at 12-12. Kind of not on the bubble, but close, depending on what can happen. Like he could go 4-0 and be there at 13-15 and make the playoffs is Swagger. So he's not totally done. But, 3 guys are. They got no shot. Straight Class, Lincoln Hawk, Heathbar. Right now, they're fighting for last place. And last place in our league has to buy food for the draft party the next year. All right. Let's get into some goodies here. We are going to do some matchup excitements. We are going to look at week 13, and we are going to see who's the game of the week, who's the snooze fest of the week, what game should we look for. Let's go. Week number 1, or not week number, matchup number 1, Lincoln Hawk versus Hulkamaniacs. Like we just said, Hulkamaniacs have been on a 3-game winning streak. Lincoln Hawk is in the crapper. Excitement rating of 3 out of 10. And folks, our prediction model here at League headquarters. Yes, we do have a prediction model. Our prediction model is saying Hulkamaniacs wins 135-110. So Hulkamaniacs is favored by 25. If you're a gambling person, that line is 25. That's high. That's a big line. We'll see what happens. Matchup number 2, Season of Dreams versus Straight Class. Another stinker in the realm of stinkers. Basically, because Straight Class is out of the playoffs. Season of Dreams is up there. They're in 3rd right now, ahead of Hulkamaniacs just because of points scored. But there's only 6 points difference between them, so every point matters. Season of Dreams. Excitement, 4 out of 10. In my mind, that's a crappy matchup. Our prediction model here at League says the Season of Dreams is going to win 140-105. That is a line of 35 points. Unfathomable. Let's see, though. Straight Class can keep that efficiency rating going. Maybe Burton or not. Maybe the Season of Dreams pulls a stinker and they end up on that shit list, which we haven't got to. We haven't got to them yet. We still have the shit list nominee for week 12. It's still coming. Matchup 3, BFI versus Finger Banger. This is exciting. This is exciting. 7 out of 10 on that rating scale for excitement. Prediction model predicts Finger Banger to keep that winning streak going at 7 games and win 130 to 120. BFI needs this win. They cannot go 0-2. We're going to see what happens. Matchup 4. Matchup 4. Oh, this should be a 10 out of 10. I don't know why it's a 5 out of 10. Probably because they're fighting for 7th place. But it's a 5 out of 10. If one of those teams makes the winning matchup and beats the league average 2-0, woo! Watch out. Watch out, BFI Triple J. They're coming. Big 33 wins by 6. Man, I'm anxious to see what happens here. Matchup 5. Oh, another dude. Folks. Game of the week right here. Game of the week. Can Triple J fix his 75% efficiency rating? Can Nasty Nate Dogg keep winning? Excitement rating 8 out of 10. Game of the week, folks. Game of the week. Prediction model, I disagree with this. I wholeheartedly disagree. But Nasty Nate Dogg wins by 12. 130 to 118. If Triple J can go 1-1, that's still acceptable. I will accept that. Matchup 6. We call this the snoozer of the week. A 2 out of 10 on the excitement scale. You have Bradley's Boys versus Heathbar. Heathbar, who is last place, or straight up last place. Straight up last place. 8-16. Projected to score only 100 points, which is 6 points more than Triple J scored this week, but we won't get into that. Bradley's Boys wins by 45. And can Bradley's Boys get into that top spot? We're going to see. But folks, that's a snoozer. That, my friends, is a snooze fest. Okay, before we get to our favorite section, we're going to do just a quick history lesson, just in case anyone ever asked questions about scoring. We've had some high scores this year. We've had 176. We had 173. Hulkamaniacs had 169.45. The question is, where does that rank on the all-time list of our top 25? This slide shows us that the number 25th spot is 185.05. Our highest score this year has been 176.45 by the Season of Dreams. Our highest score this week, 169.45 by the Hulkamaniacs. So we still have a little ways to go. I'm going to try to bring up our all-time highest scoring team in a week was 213 points in week 14, year 2021 by Triple J. Boom! At least I know I can score. Okay, folks. Okay, folks. All right. We're ready. We're ready for this next one. This is exciting. Oh, who makes the shit list? Watch till the end. Guess what, folks? Guess what? The end is now. Boom! The shit list. This is a spot reserved for a team that shouldn't even have shown up. They should have just not even submitted. They should have pulled a Michael Celeroli and not even submitted a lineup. Sorry, Michael, if you watch this. Yeah, just sit this one out. And our winner goes to Triple J. The Triple J. You were shit this week, my friend. You belong on the shit list. Past winners were Bradley's Boys in week 11 for his 68% efficiency rating. For someone that's ranked second in the league, man, every move they made was shitty last week. Almost as shitty as Triple J this week. Heathbar, since we started this in week 10, was our inaugural shit list champion. So each week, my friends, don't find yourself on this list. Don't do it. Don't do it. You don't want to be on this list. We're going to keep a running total of this list. And that's it, folks. That's it. We're going to see you next week with week 13 recap. Probably going to drop that Wednesday night as well. Just, for your viewing pleasure. Hope you enjoyed.